Every day, about 2,300 people are reported missing across the country. But for one organization charged with finding those who have all but vanished, these missing persons may be out of sight, but not forgotten. Here's Dottie Laster with more on this.
Hi, my name is Dottie Laster. I'm the Executive Director of the Heidi Search Center, and you're watching Vanished. Over the past 14 years, I've dedicated my life to helping victims of human trafficking and helping to fight injustice. While I've experienced a great deal of success and much progress has been made, human trafficking continues to plague our cities in the United States. And according to the National Crime Information Center, over 640,000 records are opened for missing persons each year, and of those, 447,000 are under 21. So we're going to discuss what happens to these individuals after they go missing. How are these cases treated by law enforcement? What can you do to help reunite families with their missing loved ones? How can you keep your family safe? Vanish will explore cases past and present. We will offer tips that you should know for your community, and we will educate you on what to do if someone you know or love vanishes. These individuals may be lost, but they are certainly not forgotten. We will never stop searching, and our goal is to get every last one of them home back safely to their families. Thank you for staying tuned in to Vanished. Now I'd like to tell you a little bit about the Heidi Search Center. Heidi Search Center began 27 years ago when a beautiful little girl named Heidi Seaman went missing. She had spent the night away from home for the first time with her friend, and as she was walking back to her house, some monster picked her up and absconded with her. And it began a never-ending nightmare for her family. It was soon known that she was missing, and they began to try to find her. And so, as you can imagine, two parents with a young girl that didn't come back from where she was supposed to be. You have to remember, back in 1990, we didn't have social media, we didn't have cameras everywhere. There was just no answer as to where Heidi could be. So as the days progressed, her parents, with all the love they had for their daughter, moved heaven and earth to find her. At one point, there were 300,000 people looking for Heidi. There was the mayor of San Antonio declared Heidi Seaman Day. It was a national news story, and no effort from the community or her parents was spared to locate this beautiful girl. There was just no trace of what could have happened. So in the middle of all this, another sweet, innocent little girl goes missing. Her name was Erica Bottella. And so while Heidi's parents were in agony, using all their efforts to find their daughter, they also turned everything they had learned in the previous few days and weeks to helping to locate Erica. And Erica's case was the beginning of the incredible love and determination that became the Heidi Search Center. Now, 27 years later, both the girls were located within the first month, and so their cases were closed as far as they were missing, but never solved as to who murdered them. So 27 years later, that determination, love, attention, passion, just the will to find those young girls lives today. And it's helped over 4,000 families know what happened to their loved ones or to be reunited with them. And so our mission and goal is a community safe and free from abduction and exploitation. In just a few moments, we're going to come back and discuss the case itself. And you're watching Vanished. Now we'll discuss the case about Heidi Seaman and where we are today. So in 1990, Heidi had gone missing, and there were some witnesses that saw a red car. There was no license plate, no real description of who might be driving it, but it seemed consistent in witness reports. The community was looking, and the police were pouring through tips that may or may not have been related. At the meantime, the other little girl, Erica Botella, is also missing. So extensive efforts from the community and law enforcement are generating a lot of information, but still neither one of the children have been located. So Heidi went missing on August 4th, 1990, and Erica not too long after that. So fast forward to August 26th and 27th, 1990, so within the same month, but obviously it felt like years to the parents. Both of the girls' bodies were located in separate places. Their cases are not connected, other than the love and the determination of the people trying to locate the little girls. And in Heidi's case, she was found in about 60 miles away from where she'd gone missing. She went missing in San Antonio, Texas, on a street named Stall Road. And she was found out in some rural farmland in the Wimberley area. There was not a lot of evidence there, at least for 1990s capability upon evidence collection to indicate who had put her there, but it was clear she'd been murdered. And so the search was over, but the case was not closed. And the same with Erica. She was located, murdered, in a separate location. She was found in a drainage culvert, and her case has not been solved either. So to focus back on Heidi's case, the search became really important, as often is in these cases. Many times someone shows up to these large searches that may have had something to do with their disappearance. Sometimes just the simplest tip gives that piece of information that puts the puzzle together. So after Heidi's body's been found, then there's all this data and information to be poured through, and it was. And there were many theories brought about. There was even a military trial about someone who was alleged to have been involved in her disappearance, but it was unfounded, or it did not have a conclusion that could be reached about who actually caused Heidi's death. And so today, in 2017, her case is still open. The Texas Rangers are just amazing. I visited their office. I walked in unannounced, and the ranger actually had her case on his desk as he had been working on it. And our hope is that science catches up, and that tips keep coming, and that somebody knows something, and that they continue to report it, even if they don't know that it might be the solution. It might be the piece to the solution. We do receive tips on a steady basis, not every day, but several times a year. And each one of those tips is taken with the utmost seriousness and followed up on and shared with law enforcement. So you could be the one that has that piece of the puzzle. And I really hope, if you saw something, if you think you saw something, if you heard something, if someone spoke later about events that happened in August of 1990, we'd love to hear from you. And now, we will be back in just a moment with tips about safety so you can keep your child safe. Thank you for watching Vanished. And now we're going to go forward with safety tips. Parents, you need to monitor your kids' online activity. You cannot parent with privacy. Changes in attitude or grades may be a sign that someone is targeting your child. Also, make sure you have current photos, both digital and hard copy, of your children, especially as they go through any changes in their growth or their hair. Really important to have those current photos. Predators also often use peers to gather information on your child. You need to really know where they're going, who they're with, if they have a change in friends, when they're spending the night. You need to know who's there. Also, if your loved one goes missing, you don't have to wait any amount of time to report them. If your child is missing, you can call law enforcement right away. And I suggest you do. It'd be better to call sooner than to wait too long. And you are the expert on your child. No one knows them better than you. You are the expert in the world. And your energy, your attention, your investigative skills are going to be the difference in getting your loved one back. So be an active part of the process. Don't sit back. It's up to you to find them. I really hope you have gained information from watching this episode of Vanished. I hope you have learned tips that you might share, become understanding and compassionate, even more so about these missing cases, as this family, whoever has contacted us, is going through the absolute worst time of their life. And we need our community to surround them and protect them. Next week, we're going to talk about a 15-year-old girl who has vanished due to someone she met online. And we need your help to find her. I hope you'll share, post, like, comment on our video. If you have ideas for a show or an organization or a person that needs to be highlighted, you can reach me at the following contact information. And we'll see you next week on Vanished.